thank one of my senior colleagues with whom I had worked in Indonesia, Jakarta, Dr. Ravi Chandran. He has been a guide to us when we were a young, enthusiastic employees trying to prove ourselves during the early stages of our career. Thank you, Dr. Ravi Chandran, for being part of our growth.
Thank you. Welcome. I still recall those days with you and Shivashish Pandey. Good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's look at, am I audible, first of all, to all of you? Anyone can confirm it.
Yes, sir. You're audible, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So let me start on this note to share with you a deck which I prepared last night, and I have, let me present that. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Great. So today's topic is innovation and entrepreneurship. I mean, both these words are very, very familiar with you, I guess, and needs no introduction. But these two are the spirit of both mankind, quest, and also the growth of nations or nation building. Because without these two, people will not improve, economies will not grow, and societies will not blossom unless until these two are there. These two are not only at that level, are required even at an individual level. Let's look at a deep dive into this. The last 2 years have been tough for most of us, the pandemic times, right? But do you realize that during such crisis, the best creative minds get unleashed? Because every crisis is an equal opportunity. Let's look at why do I say that? Do you agree that even kindergarten kids, school kids are now going and learning in the last 2 years at home? There is a rapid digitalization adaptation. What would have taken 20 years to adapt digitalization, the world adapted in less than 1 year because there was no choice. Do you see on the left-hand side, there are two pictures. One is a teacher teaching virtually, and look at down below. And that's a picture, the down below was from my own office meetings. We never imagined that 30 people could come together on a computer screen and perform the same way as we were doing physically. The whole world looks changed. The way we work, the way we live, the way we think. So that's technology adaptation and enablement which has happened during these pandemic times. Now look at the right side of the picture. Normally, any vaccines has 2 helixes because our DNA is double helix. Whereas there have been vaccines now which have come up with single helix. It is all creative minds unleashed during these times. Second, any of the drug to come into the world market usually takes about 15 to 20 years, but it has been quite possible in a short span of maybe 8 to 10 months. The efficacy may be in question, but the preventiveness from disaster has been done with these drugs, with these vaccines, which means The pandemic, though has been a crisis, has been also a great opportunity to many of us to innovate, to learn, to come up with technology. And all this is a part of today innovation. Yeah. So do you all agree with this? That the life has certainly been on a fast track despite the pandemic?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then let's take 2 moments to discuss. And I want a few hands from both genders to help me understand this. Let's take 2 minutes. Instead of a monologue, let's have a dialogue. What's your definition of innovation and entrepreneurship? That's the first question. The second one, why do we use a bulb all the time for innovation? And the third question is, first comes the quest or idea or vice versa. Anyone can go.
So the bulb, can I, sir? Can I try the answer?
Please.
Yes, sir. The bulb probably it is the innovation that changed the world, remarkably the world. And it is the most that he has met with most failures and become very successful. That's why we might use bulb as a symbol of innovation.
Yep. Anybody else? I would like all the participants, the students to open up. This is your session, not my session.
Igniting moment, sir.
Absolutely correct. Anybody else?
So the answer for the first question, innovation and entrepreneurship. Innovation is something, coming up with new ideas in general. Whereas in entrepreneurship, coming up with new ideas in business.
Okay. Anyone else? Guys, I want participation. Otherwise, it will be a monologue. Okay. Let's look into it. What comes first? There is no right answer or there is no wrong answer. Okay. Why do we use bulb all the time? It seems as the experimentation was going on to create a bulb, there were 100 such experiments, 100 tables experimentation was done, and everything was left at different stages, not knowing how do you complete, which means the scientist was doing 100 experiments at the same time, and it took so many years and several attempts to come up with the first filament, the tungsten bulb. And that is why, as Dr. Rajesh said, bulb is used as never give up. Okay. The second question which Bhargavi has attempted, it's coming up with ideas or ideas of business. Now, idea can be anything. It can be a new product, new technology, it can be new market. But what do we make use of that idea is what the entrepreneurship does. So first comes the quest or idea, first comes the quest. Without a quest, ideas won't develop. And that is why. But without the ideas, the quest dies, because human brain thinks about 60,000 thoughts in a day. Our brain has nearly 8 billion cells. And these cells, our brains have 8 billion cells, and you can place them on tip of a needle like chapatis. You can put on top one another cell, and they can stack up to 8 billion cells. And those are powerful work engines which we have in ourselves. Our work engines are here in the form of brain cells. If those brain cells don't work, we will be like a log of wood. Have you ever seen a coma patient? His brain is not working. He's called brain dead. And there is no movement in his body. So what is essential is these brain cells to work, and these brain cells ignite thoughts. In a day, 60 to 70,000 thoughts are generated by us. Let's break this down. You sleep for 8 hours a day. You take another 1 hour for your eating and another hour for your washing and cleaning and tidying up. So 10 hours if we take out of 24 hours, we have 14 hours of active time. In 14 hours, we get roughly 5,000 thoughts in an hour. 60 minutes, if you take in an hour and 5,000, that's roughly 85 thoughts in 1 minute. In 60 seconds, you have 85 thoughts, which means 1 thought a second. Is that possible? Absolutely possible. This is what our brain cells are doing. So those quest keeps coming, and 90% of the time, they are repetitive thoughts. But once you hold on to a particular thought for a long time, that becomes an idea. That becomes a thought process. That becomes firmer. And once which becomes firmer, leads into ideas. When ideas come, they translate into actionable points. For example, to tell this session, I need to think, I need to frame my thoughts, and I need to deliver. All these are also part of that actionable thoughts. And that comes with from quest to thoughts to ideation. And that's how this process of work. It's a very psychological process, but it is the common factor for all of us. Let's look at these two words. What is innovation, as I've asked this question? Ideas that create future opportunities. It could be anything. As simple as there is a company in Bangalore, which called ID Foods. You must have heard. And I am Bangalore dropout. Started making idli batter. Idlis have been existing in South India for last maybe 100 years or 200 years. Every house idli is made. Ask your mothers or even you if you will know. There's one guy who just saw his mother making idlis in a stone, grinding in a stone, and came up with idli batter. His name is Mustafa. Please Google it up, you will know. So Mustafa thought, why don't I make this idli batter into a little preserved one and make sure that all the moms are happy every day morning giving fresh idlis to the children. And it worked. He started from Bangalore and today it is pan-India. I'm sure some of you would have picked up from departmental store in Chennai as well. ID Foods. And that company today is almost 5,000 crores worth, just selling idli batter. Fresh idli batter. So, what is an idea and what is entrepreneurship? It's in this example. Ideas that create future opportunities. An entrepreneur is a person who is exploiting those future opportunities. Now here, is idli a new thing or batter a new thing? If you open our fridge, I'm also a South Indian. So if you open our fridge, there will be certainly idli batter every time. My mother used to keep idli batter thinking that, oh, if any guest comes anytime, even middle of the night, there is a batter available to make something and give him. So what was the idea? What was the quest? Think about. I will leave this question to you. Visit idfoods.com, know more about Mustafa and how he converted this idea into an innovation and how did he exploit that to become an entrepreneur. Let's move on. The quest. This is the starting point. And this quest has been in existence since time immemorial. Our ancient wisdom, our Vedas have given us this. It is taught in schools. I'm sure in all schools this is taught. Om asatoma sadgamaya tamasoma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritangamaya. What does it say? It is a quest to take us from false to truth, from darkness to light, from death to eternal life. But is eternal life possible? No, we are all mortals. Eternity, what is eternity? Is that knowledge which one is gaining. And this is a very generic statement. To take us from false to truth is there for everywhere, right? This is the quest. To take us from darkness to light, it is a quest. And we are all trying to await the final destination. So, from time immemorial, we all have been searching for something, to excel in something, to come up with something new every day. And that quest will lead us to innovations. Let us see how this quest has shaped us. Let me ask you two questions. Since we are going back, we need to always go back into history to get into the future. So let's take a step back for 2 minutes. And I would like certainly all of you to answer these questions. Take a notepad and quickly note down top 20 innovations which have happened in mankind, which has changed everything forever. Innovations in history which has changed everything forever, because evolution and innovation coexisted, whether it is for survival, protection, or for growth. This has been our taken. Yeah, but most of us, we have taken granted. We don't even today recognize them. We don't respect them because we have taken things to be granted. But to evolve into a very a species where we are today, as a civilized species, our ancestors have worked very hard. But for our ancestors' quest and innovation, we wouldn't have been civilized today. We would have been still living in stone ages, killing with stones and being barbaric like early humans. But our ancestors did innovate, and we are today civilized. Possibly we will innovate more, and that we will be better off coming into the next generations. Okay, so anyone who wants to name the top 20 innovations? Please unmute
This is Bhargavi.
and talk about the top 20 innovations.
Okay. I could come up with
Go
one,
ahead.
five innovations.
Go ahead.
First one is printing press.
Okay.
And as you all know, mobile phones and computers,
Okay.
and also electric light.
Okay.
And an
Fantastic.
engine.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Great. Anybody else?
Steam engine,
Fantastic. Anybody
industrial
else?
steel making, drilling oils,
Great.
nitrogen fixations, fusions, nuclear fusion.
Fantastic. Anybody else?
Innovation of wheels, sir.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Anybody else?
So penicillin and vaccination, pills,
Fantastic. 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 Anyone else?
Agriculture, sir.
Very good. Come on, more guys. This is your session, not my session.
television, radio, broadbands.
Okay.
Electric vehicles.
Very good.
Electricity,
Very good. Vishnu Priya. Very good.
Changes in basic amenities, development in basic amenities, food, clothing, shelter.
Okay. Done. There are no boys here in this team in 157 students. Okay, that's fine. Thank you for all those who could think the top 20 innovations. I was looking for the one eminent answer without which we would not have been where we are today, and let us see them. The first one is fire. Do you agree or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Electricity, somebody told, it's only a development from energy. The early humans came up with fire. Fire not only gave them protection from dangerous animals, it also gave them heating, and they started understanding, oh, there is a great value in this fire. The second one are tools. They used to take two stones and cut them each other and made various hunting tools. Somebody talked about wheel. Imagine if our wheels were square. Can you see that cycle? What a bumpy ride we will have. We'll be all going up and down, just like we go in Chennai city buses. We'll be all having bumpy rides. But our ancient ancestors came up with wheel, which is circular in place. And that's the evolution of various things. Locomotives, engines, everything got transformed. But that's improvisation. The first person who came up with wheel, do you know who is he? Does he have a patent? Has any of our ancestors patented how to make fire? Has the first ancestor patented tools? The person who came up with this wheel, has he patented it? No, it is all free for us. Because they innovated, we are making use of it. Right? Look at it. That's why I said we need to pay tribute to our ancestors. These are some of the top 20 innovations which mankind has made, and after which there is no turning back. Let's look at some of them. Somebody told paper. I think Bhargavi told printing press. The first printing press was Gutenberg's press. And that was made because the church wanted the Bible. So the Bible, the first Bible came out from this Gutenberg press. Rest it is history. Today you have books at your disposal because of that first printing press. But where would you print? On a paper? So we should give it to the paper also. Yeah, of course, there are several things. There is electricity. Look at that huge electricity winds which we used to have earlier. And all these are part of that great innovations. Then came the dynamite. Had there been no dynamite, we would not been sending people to the moon, into the space, because we realized that it is what it is. And of course, it's another story that Alfred Nobel is also known as Merchant of Death for creating that. But it's what it is. We can make better use of it now. We are able to do research because through that combustion, we are able to take heavy loads into that. We are able to beat the gravity and go into the space. These are all greatest innovations of our time. Somebody talked about phones. Yeah, the first mobile phone was in 1973. Some of you would not have been even born. Today we have supercomputers. But look at some of the early computers. That's one of the first Apple computer. Looked like a typewriter machine. But that's what it is. Developments is one, innovation is one, just to let you know. Somebody talked about penicillin. That's very right. You can look at it on my presentation, left-hand side. 1928, penicillin. Afterwards, the mortality rate reduced and survival rate increased. So penicillin was a super drug which had cure for many things. Of course, today we have many such new drugs, but penicillin is the mother of all in the field of medicine. It's all possible because of innovation in every field. So look at the fields we touched from here: basic engineering, yeah, to paper, to pulp, to phones, mobiles, computing, pharmaceuticals. Every field requires innovation. There is no field which is without innovation. Then there are millions of others which we call as product innovations. You know, from ink pens came gel pens, now to digital pens. There are some of them are only process innovation. You know, a pen is a pen, whether you use it in a digital format or a gel pen or an ink pen. But the credit goes to the first person who came up with the pen. Then there is service innovation, there is market innovation. And then there is God's creation. Because these are certain things which we cannot reproduce. Can we create earth? No, we cannot. Planets, we cannot. Air, we cannot. Space, can you? No, we cannot. So some of these things which we call, yeah, are the God's creation, beyond which is human creation. Then there are, as we talked about, incremental innovations and improvements. Fire, then to candle, lantern, tungsten, to electrical bulbs, and now to LEDs. But first it goes back to fire. So rest are all incremental innovations on an existing thing. Remember, the first thing to come out will find for the rest. It will make a history. It will change our lives. And that's, we call that innovations. Then let's look at it today, modern time. To own a car today, right? You have Ubers, you have Lyft, Olas have come in. There's revolution everywhere. These are called disruptions. They are not innovations, some are disruptions. You want to go from Chennai airport to the central. Today, you don't need to own a car. You all need a mobile app. So these are innovative disruptors. Then telecommunications, of course, somebody talked about mobile phones. There are satellite phones and various ways. These are all things which are improving us. And then the latest drones. Now there are flying drones. Now people are treated there. The first pizza was delivered through a drone in Mumbai in the world. In the recent conflict which is happening between Russia and Ukraine, drones are even used to combat forces. So continuous insatiable quest is continuing to innovate ourselves and improvise. As long as all these innovations are for a good, for human mankind, it is good. Then the question comes, why do we need to innovate all the time? Because action is a must. If we are born, we need to act. So what does act say? If there is something, what can I make better use of it? So innovation is more than a cutting edge technology or science or about design. What is innovation then? It is finding solutions to the world's problems. It's to improve the quality of life. It's to preserve something good. to make the world a better place to live, not yourself. If I'm thinking of making myself rich, that's very mean, selfish. That's not innovation. दूध वाला भी दूध बेच के पैसे कमाता है और दूध में पानी भी मिला के पैसे कमाता है. But that's not what we want, right? We want the world to make a better place to live. So we need to innovate. We need to come up solutions which can address world's issues, which can improve our lives, which we can leave a legacy behind. That's why we must innovate every day. So friends, innovation is just a process. With an innovative mind, you need to cultivate your mind. How many of you, is there anyone from a farming background? Anybody is a farmer? Nobody in this class of 157 comes from a farming background? Okay, I guess so, nobody. Look at a farmer. Dr. Raj, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So looks like in your class of students, nobody is from an agriculture or a rural background. But
Yep.
if you observe, a farmer actually, before sowing seeds, he cultivates his field. He tills that, and then he sows the new seeds to come up with his crop. It's a process. Just like that, innovative also is to cultivate our minds. We need to cultivate our minds to think. Nobody is born with an innovation mind, because as I've said, every one of us have the same 8 billion cells. Nobody has less, nobody has more. The creation, the creator's creation is equal for all of us. It is what we do with our mind is up to us. Do I make it to productive use? Then I am an innovative person. So it's a process, friends. It is creativity, openness, intention, willingness to take risk, exchange ideas, and have the capacity to innovate. Then you are an innovator. Nobody is born with a spoon to innovate, golden spoon. It is just the struggle to innovate, and they don't give up because it's just a process. Then there are institutions who failed to innovate. What happened? They died. These are all classic examples. Blockbuster was a video distribution company. Today, there is no VCP or VCR distributions. In my childhood, I used to go during summer vacations to our nearest video library and buy cassettes for 10 rupees to watch for one day. What happened? All that business is died because cloud computing has come. Cloud has given us storage. So everybody are using storage, cloud storage. And the famous example is Netflix. Then Kodak. Kodak never believed that film will be out of business. Even though Kodak engineers came up with digital camera, they turned it down saying you're stupid. Today, there is no photo camera. Film, there is no non-existent. Everything is digital. Xerox, they were the first person to come up with computers. They didn't realize Apple believed in that. Say Yahoo today does not exist. It is taken over by Gmails, Googles, Facebooks. But Yahoo was the first company to revolutionize internet. People got hooked onto. In 1995, I created my first Yahoo account, Yahoo Mail. Today, I don't even use it because they failed to innovate further. Look, the only thing which is constant is change. If you don't innovate, somebody else will do. Because every problem is holding an opportunity. Think sideways. Creativity is fun, friends. And genuinely, it is not India where there is no money available for right innovation. Today, you have a right thought and innovation. There is plenty of money and funding available to back you up. All you need is the right idea, genuine idea, and original idea. To do what? These are the three things. If you come up with a new innovative idea to solve a world's problem or something which can improve the life or preserve something good, there's plenty of capital available. You don't need to go anywhere, because today the capital doesn't come from my father or your father. Today there are venture capitalists, there are startup cultures are there. There are VCs, yeah, private equities. So many people are there with loads of money to bet on you. All you need to have is original ideas. And next, what do you need to convert them into opportunities? You need to have the entrepreneur spirit. That means the will to convert them into something, into actions. That's where entrepreneurship comes into place. See a few friends here. Who are they? Mukesh Ambani, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Zuckerberg, Jack Ma. What is common among them? What is common among these five gentlemen?
They are entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. I thought somebody may say they're all school dropouts. Even that is true. They're all entrepreneurs. Where they are is the spirit which has taken them. Steve Jobs used to eat food in America. He did not have money. You go and read his biography and his book. So what did he have? He had a passion to create, to unleash something. Today, the market cap of Apple is in hundreds of billions of dollars. Same is with Microsoft. Zuckerberg crossed 100 billion. Now, some of them can fail also because unrighteousness. Zuckerberg is facing problems of data. All of you must have Facebook pages. Then you are his free product. He sells you. So understand, entrepreneurship done with the right spirit is always great for the society. Entrepreneurship with a selfish motive does not last long. Now let's look at few more entrepreneurs. On the right side, you will see Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and UK's Virgin Group's Richard Branson. Why am I projecting this? In 1966, there was a TV show by name Star Trek. In 1980s, also it was on Doordarshan. When I was a young kid, I used to watch it. It used to be great fun, science fiction, to go into the space. It's no longer a fiction because entrepreneurs are now taking. There is no NASA, there is no ISRO, there is private money. There are people like you and me. In 2021, Richard Branson first went into the space on Virgin Galactic. Then Jeff Bezos' capsule went up, and then SpaceX. So people need passion to convert that idea into an opportunity. And here are a few who are taking those bets. So who is an entrepreneur? It's simple. Who is ability to take risk of creating, organizing, and owning it, is able to translate them into actions. By what? Simple process. Look, innovation is also a process. Entrepreneurship is also a process. You need to be diligent. That's all. Then comes, no, we don't have this, we don't have that. Many people think, no, I have an idea, but I don't know how to go about it. Why don't you put it into process? Why don't you make a survey, questionnaire, checklist? Why don't you look at trends, study what are available? People do incompleteness, and that's where they fail. They take risky bets without the right knowledge. It's all about planning, making feasibility studies, doing due diligence of you, including your. If you have a thought, write it and validate that thought. Then, if you are convinced, then you resource it. Resource is just not money. It is people, technology, process, all put together, all resources. And then you put them all into action. That's management. That's where the value creation happens. And then next is to harvest the venture. You may want to continue it, or you may want to sell it. Like many startups, after some stage, harvest themselves. But some continue to become bigger and bigger and bigger, like Amazon. So before you innovate or you start on entrepreneurs, remember one thing: values are important. Anything we do need to be ethical. They need to be good for society. They need to be, if it is good for you, it is good for the other. So have a very focused and broad approach to the things. Do you think it has become all easy to achieve? Virtues are always the backbone of values. Ask Sudha Murthy, the boss of Narayan Murthy. When he was started Infosys in early 70s, did he have time for the family? No. Sacrifice. To create something involves a lot of sacrifices. Nothing comes free, my friends. There's no free lunch. There's no free money. Everybody needs to work hard and struggle and come up. Some achieve because they have tenacity, resilience. They don't give up. And that's where they are today. Ratan Tata, now he's 85 plus or 88. Even now he's going strong and strong because he has that passion in him to every day come up with something new. Because success has a high price. And to achieve that success, entrepreneurs are willing to make those sacrifices. So, as I'm ending, are entrepreneurs born or made?
Made.
Made.
Thank you.
It depends upon the situation, sir, how they grown up.
Okay. I have just now told you that there are entrepreneurs who did not have money even, but they found to ignite and keep their passion alive. Think about, you don't need to answer me. What about you? Are you an innovator are you entrepreneur? Do you have that commitment, passion, vision, belief, endurance? These are the 5 things which can define you or break you or make you. One of my favorite movies. You must have all seen this. Don't follow success. Don't follow somebody. Learning is everywhere. Learn concepts, apply them. Try, take the risk. It may be worth it. This is from my school days. Look at this statement. A first bench student knows the answers of every problem, but the last bench student knows how to face every problem. Think about, guys. You are in your budding, you all may be 21, 22, or somebody may be 20. Think what future has to offer for you. Enormous potential. And all of you are gifted. All of you have that ability because you have 8 billion brain cells. Believe in yourself. Be that game changer. Thank you, Dr. Raj and Dr. Ravichandran. Over to you. I'm happy to take questions and comments, anything from all of you.
Sir, questions now?
Thank you, sir. We are really glad to be part of this webinar and have learned many new things like evaluation and innovation existence, entrepreneurial process. Now, the forum is open for the question and answer session. Friends, you can put forward your questions. Sir, what are the important habits to be a successful entrepreneur?
Yeah, we shared that. We talked about 5 values to have. Never give up attitude, endurance, persistence, patience, and more so, don't be selfish.
So this is Bhargavi. So,
Yes.
Apart from innovation and other things relating to that, what do you actually consider to be a success as an entrepreneur? Reaching the goal, like apart from all these, what do you think is actually a success to an entrepreneur?
Okay, let me give you a problem and you give me a solution.
Yes, sir.
Potentially that can help you. Can you tell me on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 to 10,
Okay.
what is success minus failure?
Success minus failure. Sorry, I have no idea.
Anybody else in this group of 150 odd?
Maybe an 8 or 9, like average.
Very good. Anyone else?
7 to 6, sir. Sorry, 6 to 7, sir.
Okay. Anyone? Last person?
Sir, success cannot be defined or measured, sir. It depends upon the individual, sir. Success
Okay,
can
good.
be something for me and it may be something for you. So how can we measure it? Or how can we define it?
I have given 0 to 10, Deepak. So within that number, any number you can choose.
Okay.
Anyway, the answer is success minus failure is 0.
Okay.
And Deepak is right. You see, I know a person who has failed 30,000 times. I know a person who has failed 30,000 times. Do you know who is he? Anyone? Yes, Dr. Raj.
Might be Edison, sir.
Okay. Anyone? Akshay, Star, Jagan, Lakshya, Kamlesh, Bharat, anyone?
Is it Jack Ma?
No. Okay, let me give you the answer. Each one of us have been failures. And let me tell you, when you were small, were you able to put your food in the mouth? When your mother will give you a plate, you will put here and there on you all over the face, and the food will never go into your mouth. Have you started walking from birth? You started crawling. How many times did you fall before you put the first step? Ask your mother. She would have told you, you have fell down from the bed thrice, 4 times or 10 times. Have you got your riding cycle the first time correct? Correct. Each one of us have been failures before we can succeed. What happens is failure will lead us to a massive success. There is nothing called as success. All you need to do is to put that effort. And Deepak has said, success is very, very abstract to define. If somebody has become $100 billion company, tomorrow there will be a company which can beat out that. In 1980, when I started working for the first time, my ambition was to have a Maruti car. So after 2 years of working, I bought a Maruti 800. The moment I took it onto the road, there was a Maruti 1000. Then I struggled hard to make Maruti 1000. And again, I stopped by at a red light. I saw Contessa. Dr. Ravichandran can agree with some of these examples. When I had a Contessa, I saw a Toyota. When I bought a Toyota, I saw a Lamborghini. Then I saw a Ferrari. So all these benchmarks will keep moving up and down. What is must is achieving satisfaction in what we are doing. That is success. Now, what kind of satisfaction? That we are doing for the greater cause of the society. We are enablers for a better world. That is success to me. Have you any time seen Bhagavad Gita or Quran or Bible having any patent? But if you read a novel of J.K. Rowling, you need to pay royalty to her. Because one of the world's best things, like fire, wheel who has invented, or anybody who has made good things for society, has done it all absolutely free and for the greater cause of good. And that to me is success. Thank you.